Experience backstage access, meet the pros, and explore muscle building insights. VNM-tv, the latest bodybuilding news.
Thank you very much.
Trained for 8 months and turned pro.
So what did you do? What did you shoot?
My secret?
Yeah.
Preparation. Just always be ready. And if you prep your meals before you leave your house, it becomes a lot easier. Consistency with training.
By the time you stop competing,
I have to pay. I don't know where I have to pay. I'm not sure where I have to pay.
drive really fast. The time you stop competing, you still kept training. You're training. And nothing?
I quit completely. In the gym,
Oh.
I was eating Twinkies and Ho-Hos and pizza. I was fat and happy.
Yeah.
It was just one of those things, It was, I went to watch the show and I was like...
Was it a pro show or a local
show? Local show.
Ik zit nu hier.
En als mensen hier langs
I
willen?
was like, man, these guys are just small. And they're like, what do you mean these guys are small? I was like, it's been 7 years. I thought these guys would be a lot bigger.
Yeah.
And they were just laughing at me like, yeah, dude, you're right.
Those guys are training here. So
I was just like, in 7 years, you can tell me you guys gonna move up one weight class?
But what's your weight on stage?
The Olympio's 241.
What is in the kilos?
About 110.
270 right now.
And you have here this year on stage? You will be?
A lot bigger.
Yeah?
Okay. Okay.
This is my first.
So how can you gain so much?
Eat.
Just eat?
Just eat. When you think you can't eat anymore, keep eating.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But you're not gaining fat also then?
As long as you're eating clean, it's not a problem. If you're consistently eating proper, your training is right, you will gain weight.
Okay. So that's what I have to do then.
Yeah, this is my first off season since I turned pro, so that's the reason I'm very excited. I turned pro and started competing right away.
So we gotta start eating.
Yeah. It shows a lot.
And look how things can change within a year. Last year at the FIBO, and I told him, look at Shawn Rhoden sitting there. You were sitting behind Dexter.
Yeah.
And he like, who the fuck is Shawn Rhoden? I said, yeah, Shawn Rhoden, Flexatron. Look at you. He said, nah, don't worry, man. It's nobody. I said, but Shawn Rhoden, he has great proportion.
That's what I said?
Yeah, you remember. You remember the conversation. He was only looking at Dexter. Dexter was standing in front of you, and you were sitting. You were like tired. You were
Dexter,
sitting.
I can remember seeing Dexter in at the FIBO.
Yeah, so I told them, look at Shawn Rhoden sitting there. Who is that? I said, no, the guy is Shawn Rhoden.
Let me out.
So now you can see how stuff can change in less than a year. You know what I mean?
I gotta give Dexter a lot of thank you, man, because when we were in FIBO, he was like, I was talking to him and Charles Glass, and he was like, you got a great physique. If you're gonna make a move, you gotta do it right now. And I was just like, all right. He goes, no. He's like, your window of opportunity is very small. He's like, if you're gonna do something, whatever you got planned, he's like, you're like that close from making it to, one of the top tier. And I was just like, he's like, but first you gotta change your coach. He's like, the guy that you're working with, you gotta change him. And I was just
Who was your coach back then?
This kid named Dave Calic. He's like, you gotta change and work with someone else. And I was like, well, I already worked with George Farr my first year. Who would you recommend? He was like, Chris Aceto. And the thing was, I've always had Chris Aceto number since the day I turned pro. And I was like, you know what? I might give Chris a call when I get home. So as soon as I get home that night, So I put in my suitcase in the back of my car and I called Chris up. And he was like, hey, when do you want to start? I was just like, really?
Yeah?
He goes, yeah. He's like, I don't get too excited to work with too many guys, but I would love to work with you.
Of course, because that's what he told me. He gave me his number, but he told me like, I have too many clients now. And I was like, okay, when I turn pro, I'll give you a call, you know. But I like his attitude, and he's like, I don't know the man personally, but the way he presents himself, you know.
Chris is great to work with, man.
So I like his attitude, you know, and he's working at it.
First thing Chris said to me was like, listen, it's my job to worry. He's like, you don't worry about anything. I'm just like, done. He's like, if I'm worrying, if I'm stressing, then we have a problem. And I was just like, okay. I was like, I never worry about anything to begin with. So this is going to be great. And he's like, the hardest part about working with me is I need pictures. Because I need pictures every day.
Every day.
I was just like, oh, great. And so I run into Jay. The following week, I was in Orlando. And I run into Jay, and I was like, hey, I'm going to be working with your old coach. And he goes, really? You're going to be working with Chris? I was like, yeah. He goes, man, that's the best movie you could have ever made. I was like, thanks. He goes, the hardest thing about Chris is he needs pictures sometime every day, sometime every other day. He goes, just be ready.
No, but that's cool. I don't see myself paying somebody and who gives me like, here's your diet, I see you within 12 weeks. It doesn't make sense. It ain't common sense, you know? You gotta see the physique changing, you know? You gotta...
I talk to Chris every day, even when I'm here.
No, but it makes sense to me, you know?
Like
the physique can change every time.
It's like he texted me 2 days ago, where's my picture?
So still in the off-season. Still in your off-season, you want to see pictures in the off-season?
Yeah.
That's a new one.
This was 2 days ago. He texted me while I was in Denmark. You know, he's constantly in contact with you, off-season, pre-contest.
No, but that's
good.
good.
I mean, and even when, you know, the week of the show, he's looking at you like every hour and a half. He's looking at you.
I totally agree, man.
He comes in your room, he looks at you, he wants to see you in this light, that light, when you pose, eat, pose. I mean, you know, so.
See the body doing his thing.
But he comes from the old school where he treats everyone like it's the only client that he has.
I really like that, man. I really like it.
You know, because even when we were at the Olympia, he had me, Eduardo, Jose Raymond, and Derek Farnsworth. And he goes from one room to the other room to the other room and come back to you.
Yeah. Not like I see you guys
No.
in Shawn's room and they're reposed.
No. He goes to each room, and then he'll look at you and he'll be like, okay, it's 2 a.m. I'll see you at 3:30 in the morning. But I told him, I was like, you know, I really do. I told him the day that I quit the sport is when I stopped working with him.
And it really paid off, man.
Yep.
I remember we were shading last year at the Olympia, and I was just hoping you would make the top 6. You understand me, you know, you're the new guy, and they usually, the new guy, it don't matter how good you are, they're still gonna, you know, so you'll be really happy you make top 6. But then, the pre-judging, they're starting to call out. And I'm like, what? For real? Do they really want to give somebody who's on today, give him the place he deserves, you know? I've seen it happen so many times, you know? And, man, this person don't even finish in top 6. You should be lucky if you got the place in 8 or 9, you know?
The funny thing was, man, it was the second day that I talked to Chris. He said, you know, this is my goal. I was like, I'm just gonna put it on the table. I was like, my goal is to make the top 6. I was like, if I make the top 6, I'll buy you a ticket to Jamaica because I know he loves Jamaican food. He goes, what about if you make the top 3? And I'm laughing. I'm like,
yeah, I know.
that is wrong with Chris. Like, what is he smoking? You know?
Yeah.
He's like, no, really, what if you make the top 3? And I'm like, well, I'll buy you 2 tickets to go to Jamaica. And he goes, all right, you know, start looking for my tickets. And I'm like, what? He goes, yeah. He goes, you'll be in the top 3. Everybody's gonna fuck up after that trying to catch up. And I was like, okay, coach, you know, you tell me what to do. And he goes, no, really. He goes, I'm not lost in Spain, and I'm not gonna lose the first show. Chris takes this very seriously, man. He take it